Hello, everyone. This is Eric from Execute back for another live stream. If you're new here, put your name in the comments down below. Tell me where you're from. My name is Eric, and every week, every Sunday, we have a live stream here where we talk about teaching, especially English teaching. And my name is Eric. So everyone, welcome. It's good to have you all. And I just got a good laugh here because our friend Kev is here and he says, "Bad boy Eric had a lucky escape last week, but I've got his English test ready for the 27th of November, which unfortunately is today." Yeah, Kev, I have to say, I was kind of lucky not having your test, but you know what? I always do the test without cheating. I don't Google. And I feel like I failed most of them in the past. I know that you don't always say, "Oh, Eric, you were right or wrong." But I actually enjoy it, because I know there are many challenges that we have as teachers when students ask us questions like, "Okay, teacher, why is this like this?" Especially complicated grammar ones or spelling ones, like I think 2 weeks ago. But I'm up for the challenge and I'll try. And everybody try it with me. So we've got Kev. Hi, Kev. We've got A. Hello. How are you? I'm doing very well. Actually, for those of you out there that know, I'm not a great cook, but sometimes I try, and I just made salmon. I made salmon. It was very tasty, but too rich because I made a spinach cream sauce with it. It was okay, but I still need to practice some more dishes. And then we've got Grace. Grace, good to see you. Arturo, how are you doing, Arturo? Are you watching the Football World Cup? I don't watch all the games. I live in South Korea, so I've been watching the games of Korea. Well, they've played one so far, and it was a draw. It was a stalemate. So that's interesting. I don't think Mexico is doing too well at the moment, but I know Mexico is a very proud football nation. Joe, how are you doing? That poor girl. It's such a sweet photo, but also your profile pic, but also a little sad. You can see in the girl's face. Beautiful eyes, though. Andy, hi sir, how are you? I'm doing really well. Inkar, hello Eric, how are you? I'm doing really well. I went to a beach today. I had nice Thai food, and then walked on the beach, had some coffee, and then I drove home. So a really nice day today. Always here from Honduras. Oh, Arturo, I'm so sorry. I thought it was. I got it all mixed up. I thought it was Mexico. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Honduras. Yeah, sorry, Arturo. I'll remember for next time. BM Eric is a good point, not bad. I try, BM. Thank you so much for sticking up for me. Hello, Maria from Brazil. Hi, Maria. Wow, I saw that goal, the second goal against who was it when he did that bicycle kick? Oh, that was amazing. Okay, Island 3, Tulips. Hi from Tunisia. Tunisia also in the World Cup. I'm not sure how they're doing at the moment. I'll have to check. Okay, here we go. Kev. Can bad boy Eric sew? Patch up a hole, sew a button, or does Eric need a good wife? Um, let's say I think I do need a wife. Can I sew? Sometimes I've fixed up some of my buttons, patch up a hole, not very well. Sew a button. So yeah, I can sew a button, but it's not very technical. It's just try and get as much as I can on it, to make it stick. Greetings from Myanmar. Learn English with Dani. Hi there. Ah, Arturo, I'm so sorry for getting it wrong. Inez, hello from snowy Latvia. It's already snowing. I'm so excited, guys, because usually I'm from South Africa, so never really saw that much snow in South Africa. Now that I live in Korea, I started doing snowboarding a couple of years ago, off and on. But I'm excited because I booked a trip 2 weeks from now. Hopefully, I'll make it back, but I'm going snowboarding with a friend, so I'm very excited for that. I think it's a bit early, although the weather has been so nice recently. But from next week, it's going to get super cold. So not excited for that, but hopefully it creates a lot of snow. Miss Vidad, it's been a while. Eric, how are you doing? How is everyone else doing? Vidad, how about you? It's lovely to see you. Hi, Olga, in on LinkedIn. Good to see you. Where are you from? Allah from Libya. Hi. Jacinto. I hope I said that right. Hello from Mozambique. Lamia, Asha. By the way, guys, if you've got any questions or anything about the channel or about teaching, I will do my best to answer. Naji, hi teacher. Don't worry. Arturo, you've got a big heart. You know, I think people have said that. I saw your photos on Insta. They are awesome. Thank you so much, BM. Yeah, I enjoy Instagram just for myself, for my parents and my family and my friends to see, but everybody else is welcome. I always try and take better photos, but I feel like with many creative pursuits, like with photography or with cooking, I struggle at those things. You know, I really appreciate people that can do that. Drawing as well. It's not something I'm very good at. Actually, my favorite show is on at the moment. It's in England. It is MasterChef Professionals, and I just love to see the passion and the knowledge behind the chefs there. So even though I don't understand it, I appreciate it. Magdi, hi from Sudan. Hi from Algeria. Vidat, I have some good news. I'm teaching at the university. Congratulations, Vidad. I'm so happy for you. You definitely deserve it. I think your students will be happy that you're there and you're going to do an amazing job. Guys, you know, if you've got good news, please share it. If you've got problems, share it and we'll talk about it. I think it's so important to share our triumphs and also our trials, you know, that we can talk about it. So, Miss Vidad, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Yumair, how are you, sir? Where are you from? I'm from South Africa. Hi. Rabab, hello from Pakistan. Asadullah, Asadullah, hi. Your videos are very instructive. Could you share some practical materials on academic writing? Okay, so I have been researching because I'm working on some videos for March, especially on how to teach for TOEFL and IELTS or academic writing and things. Let's quickly look at some of the things I said. Oh, I was busy with my script. Is this it? Okay. Yeah. So with your students, you want to practice when it's writing. You want to practice the essay structure. You also want to take them through basic topics to write. You know, so that they get used to some of the things they will be writing on. So you know, it could be on medicine, or it could be on technology. It could be on all these different things that they can work on. You can also write on some essay guides that you can help your students with, you know, when writing about current or historical events. You can also write your own narrative, like a book or an article you read for class. So you can do lots of these things, like comparing and contrasting things. There are certain structures that they can practice writing on. Then practice is very important. Vocabulary necessary. So one thing we always tell our students is that they need to read more to get used to the structure of really good writers and also learn more vocabulary. Actually, my dad and I were working on a book with 1,000 academic words students should know, and I think we'll do more things like important idioms, 1,000 idioms, 1,000 like a lot of things that they will need to know for that. So yeah, take your students through that. In the future, I will release a video just on that. I'm aiming to get those videos out only in March. Ruth, hi from Lima, Peru. Alfredo from Colombia, thanks for doing this. Thank you so much, Alfredo. Yeah, I just like to share and learn, and yeah, I'm so grateful for everyone being here, you know, so thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. I always assalamu alaikum. Okay, I need to practice it more. Ibrahim from Uzbekistan. Can you recommend for teaching? I haven't found great books about teaching. I have read some. I've listened to some. To be honest, I haven't read any books recently. tell you what I'll do. In the future, I will look at some books that I've read that I found really useful, and maybe I'll make like a top 10 um, listing of it. The only problem is I don't feel like I've read enough to be able to recommend the best books. That's something I still need to do in the future. For me, I haven't gotten to reading much. I know I need to change that. I'm such a hypocrite. I tell my students, you've got to read. And I tell my audience, you've got to find more information. And what does Eric do? He doesn't read. He does. Well, I do research and I do find out things. So when I create videos, I do research. But and sometimes when you go through books, like I've listened to many audiobooks on teaching and classroom management, and I've read some books, and then you find a few good points in each, and then the rest of it isn't that useful. So what I would like to do in the future is find these kernels, these nuggets of knowledge, and then compile them together for you in the future. That's what I would like. So in the future, I'll make a book on that. Not a book. I'll make a video on books. Naji, hi from Afghanistan. Yuari, good morning, mister. Hi. Motor Skills Lab, Ukraine is here too. Hi from Tunisia. Golden Rose. Lamia from Tunisia. Wow, many Tunisians here today. I'm so happy. Alenka from Croatia. Yeah, I'm still thinking about a big trip. So I thought I'm really struggling. I'm thinking of going on a winter vacation somewhere, but perhaps I should just stay at home and create content, create videos, read, and then maybe I'll go on a big trip next summer vacations, and then try and go perhaps to Croatia. I'm thinking Hungary and a little bit of Europe. Lahadi, hi. Oh, Patrice from Madagascar. Suldi from Haiti. Sorry, guys, for my pronunciation. Patricia, Bolivia. Safa, hi. And Bahar. Cho from Karen. Amina, I'm doing well. Here we go. Okay. Eric's happy English test. Usually 8 parts of speech. Is that the correct number? Is it 8? Okay, let's see. I need to think about this. I think no, it's less. I'm going to guess. I can't count now. It's going to take too much. I'm going to guess 7. I'm going to look that up now. Otherwise, it's going to. How many parts of speech are there? 8 parts of. Okay, sorry. Noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. Listen, Kev, I was thinking of 8, but you know that you put it like that. 8 parts of speech. Is that the correct number? I knew that, and that it was so well worded, Kev. It's so sneaky. But I admit it. I failed. I got it wrong. Sunitha. Hi, sir. I'm Sunitha from India. Thank you very much for your tips in teaching and making teaching an enjoyable process. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I've been thinking about teaching for a while. Obviously, I think about it all the time, and I want to make more videos on classroom management because a lot of my videos, they're not outdated, but I've got different views on them, or I would like to share more information, or just the quality of the video can improve. So I'm actually thinking of doing more videos on classroom management, especially for younger learners, for elementary, for high schoolers, because I found that with some of my videos, they say, oh, this would never work with older students, or I don't think this applies to younger learners that don't understand you very well. But the truth of the matter is that if you take a good teacher that has control of a class of kindergartners, I would bet that you could take that same teacher and put them in a different class, with elementary school students or middle or high school students, and perhaps it will take them some time to adjust, but that they can take that same personality and those same methods, not the same methods, but the same mindset into that class and control it because of their experience and their knowledge. Amina, hi from Madagascar. Amifel, hi from Philippines. John Dosa, James, good to see you from Suwon. How are you doing? Do your students enjoy working together, and how do you handle noisy groups? A great question, BM. Um, so it's difficult, especially in Korea, where, socially it's much different from the West or other countries. Where, a lot of my students, I try to get them interacting quickly with each other, but there are barriers. They have to act a certain way in public when they meet someone for the first time. Especially if they need to figure out if the person is older, how should they interact with the person. So when they first meet, they're very polite, and then they kind of suss each other out. They're like, okay, how old are you? Or what's your experience? What's your level? And then they grow more comfortable with each other. So it's a little bit different from in the West, where everybody is equal, and that every individual has a voice, and you respect that, and you use that in your group dynamics. Now, do my students like working together? I would say that after the pandemic, my students do enjoy getting to know each other, finding out about each other, and hanging out and doing projects together. And it's vitally important for us as teachers to get our students to teach them these social skills, how to act out. And so they do enjoy it. But sometimes you might find a student that the students that don't really gel well together. And then it's also up to you as teacher to best help facilitate that conversation in the group, show them how to do things. So with my students, for example, if I give them a project, I say, okay, well, I want you to do a 4-minute dialogue on something. And I put 3 students together, and I say, okay, well, I want you to do some kind of play or some kind of role playing. Some students that get along and they're really smart and quick, they work together and they can create something interesting. But if the group dynamics aren't on point, then you have to help those students. Then I go and say, okay, guys, how about this? One student writes a short 1-minute part of it. The next student writes a different part, and the third student does this part. That way, everybody's involved and they know what to do. That way, it just helps them gel better together. So you, as the teacher, have to help them with these social skills. I was actually recently, I've been listening to this YouTuber. He's a psychiatrist, and his name is Happy Gamer GG. Wow, it's amazing listening to him speak. If you guys have time and you want to listen to someone talking about psychology, I would highly recommend him. I only found him today, but I listened to so much while I was driving. Very interesting points. And the one thing he talks about is that, it's up to why is it difficult for some individuals to be lonely and not to have friends, or struggle to maintain friendships. And he basically says that it's also down to the student's environment and also what their parents taught them. So for example, if you have a student, and if you have a child and they have to go to a birthday party, do you, as the parent, do you help them buy a present for the other child? Do you help them write a note? Do you tell them, listen, take this and go and give it to them and say thank you for the party? Do you encourage them to talk about to friends at a party? So from an early age, parents can actually help build their child's social interactions and social skills, so that they get better at maintaining and building and creating relationships. And it's not to say that the parents are bad if they don't do it. It's just to say that, perhaps they didn't think about it. Perhaps, they weren't ready, or they just assumed that the child would learn on his or her own. Now, we should take that same mindset with our students. We automatically assume that our students can do everything, but that might not be the case. So we as teachers have to actually teach them these skills of how to interact. So what I always tell my students is, when I'm going to let you work with partners, I'm going to mix it up, you're going to work in groups. The first rule is we respect everyone. And that is a given. That's a rule in my classroom. Also, we give everyone a chance to speak, and we listen to everyone's opinion. So you can teach them these skills, how they should work, how they should work together in groups, and then you'll be far more successful. It's up to us to help them. And we can also give them some problem solving skills. Like sometimes when students get into an argument, oh, he's not doing the work, I'm doing the work, then you can sit them down and say, listen, guys, you have to learn to work together in the future because this is how it should go. So I want you both to take responsibility for what you need to do in your activity, and this is how you do it. So yeah, I think as teachers we should think about it. Sorry for the long rant. It's just something I've been thinking about. As teachers, I think we automatically want authority in the classroom. We automatically assume that students should listen to us, but you cannot have authority without taking responsibility. So we've got to take the responsibility in class for our students learning, for teaching them these skills, and then only then will they grant us authority. So that's very important. Thanks for the question. I wish I could talk about it a little bit better. That is why I write my scripts and I talk about it, because it's much easier for me to clarify what I'm thinking. Allah, I need my students have problems with English language. Start with the basics, make it easy, make it fun, make it about them. And I think what's very important is you should focus on what they learn, and then find that foundation, build their foundation first before you start adding onto it. So often we feel like we've covered something, or the students should know something, and then we continue and they feel lost and they dislike the subject. So it's up to us to make sure, what do they know already, and then how can we systematically improve their English. So start off with the basics and then build on that and make it fun for them. Sawen, hi from Iraq. Can you tell me some vocabulary game for grade 1? Okay, let's create the labyrinth game. Labyrinth game is you write some words on the board and you say, everyone, this is a secret labyrinth. Yeah, and so let's say you write 20 words on the board, and this side you have a start, and this side you have an end, and all the words in between. Secretly, you map out how to go from the start to the end. Then you put the students in groups. Sorry, guys, I just ate a little bit ago. So rich. So then you start and you say, okay, I've got this secret labyrinth, and they put the students in groups, and they have to decide on words, some vocabulary words that they have to say. And then let's say you've got 3 groups, you've got 3 different markers, and then you go, wait, where did we start? We started this side. Anyway, then they call out a word. Let's say it's fossil. And then you say, oh, no, it's not fossil. And then it's the next group's turn. And they've got to figure out this labyrinth. Every time they make a mistake, they restart. So now the other students know, oh, it's this word, this word. That way, it stays competitive. So it's not only one group going to the end. Each time they find the next word, they go back to the start. And then all the students quickly rush until they get to the end. It might take some time, but I think it'll be a fun activity that gets that gets your students involved. And I think that's a fun game. That might be a fun vocabulary game. Easy to set up. It's very nice. Actually, by the way, I'll show you guys on a short. I'll do a short this week. So when you do activities with your students, make sure that they have to repeat it in class in front of everyone. That makes the activity worthwhile. So when I put my students in pairs and they do a conversation or practice something, then I give them some time. Everybody works together, and then I stop and I say, okay, well, I'm going to need, let's say there are 8 teams, 2 of them will actually do their dialogues. Now, how you can pick those groups is they can do rock, paper, scissors, rock, scissors, paper. It's different in Korea than the normal way. So they do that, and then you get 2 losing teams that do it. But recently, I found a nice way where I've got this white screen that comes down, and behind it, I would write 1 letter, so that they don't see. So I bring the white screen down. It's electronic, so it goes up, goes down. So behind it, I would write a number, And then I say, okay, well, there are 8 teams. I would write 8 numbers. I say, okay, each group quickly pick a number. And then they all pick a random number. It's almost like, well, the lottery. And then I say, okay, everybody's got a number. And then it slowly raises up to reveal who the losing team is. Or if you have multiple teams, you can write that down. The students absolutely love it. And the reason this works is that the students feel like it's just their luck that they get chosen. Instead of you picking them, they're like, oh, the teacher picked on us. He or she doesn't like us. So instead of that, it's up to them. And they really enjoy that part of it. And also because it's so important, because when the students practice the activity, they know that perhaps they will get picked. So they have to be ready for it. My dad's here. He says, hi, everyone. Congrats, Vidad. Thank you, Eric. You're so sweet. Been 4 weeks now. So far, so good. I'm so happy. It must be interesting. Actually, Vidad, I was thinking about it recently. It must be so. Sorry, guys. It must be so interesting to go back to your old university where you studied before to now go and teach, to take that experience and share that with the students. And I was thinking about it recently. So right now I live in South Korea. I come from South Africa. But, I'm playing with the idea, how would it be if I ever return back to South Africa? Obviously, I miss teaching, but also it would be interesting going to work at my old university. What things I would share with the students of the experience I've picked up in the it's not 20 years yet. I think it's like 16 years. But the experience I've picked up in that time and how I can best help them. So I think that is really fun. Amelia, hi, Eric. I'm on Argentina. Congratulations with that win. Messi did really well. And I recently discovered your channel. It's so amazing. Thank you so much. I feel like, you know what, I bring videos out every week and I still feel like there's so much more to cover and things I need to redo. Hi, Eric. It's Pat from Newcastle, also KwaZulu-Natal. How are you doing, Pat? Nice to see you. Kamlen, hi from India, Nagaland. Okay. Shuvra, oh, that's a pretty picture you've got there, from Bangladesh. Minor from Russia, hi. Here we can learn and teach English too. Thank you for your videos and streams. It would be great to see some ways to implement teaching, how to read into the lessons. What do you mean read into the lessons? To see how lessons are performing? So it's, are you talking about self-evaluation on your classes? How to read into the lessons? I'll think about it. Maybe you're talking about using reading in lessons, or you're talking about self-evaluation. I think, yeah, I've got a lot of ideas for the future too. Right now, for the next couple of weeks, I'm just bringing out activity videos, and it's very interesting. So in February, we're doing that week-long live stream. We'll have a live stream every night with a different teacher presenting some ideas. And in the community page, I put out a poll to ask what topic I should present on. And I had classroom management there, a few things. And it's interesting, or everywhere I posted it, I think the majority of people asked for more activities, although I think some also asked for classroom management. So I'll think about it. I've already made so many videos on activities, but I realized that I should make it with students if possible. So maybe at the end of the year, I'll shoot some new videos showing how to do these activities with students. James Go, hi teacher. James Go from South Sudan. How would I be a great teacher to my adult learners? Well, I've got a great, well, not a great, yeah, it's great. Now, I made a video, 2 videos on how to teach adult learners. The one is just teaching tips for adult learners. The other one is 10 activities that you can use with adult learners. But I'm going to share with you how to teach adult learners because I like this video. I think it's good. I used a green screen for it. And these days, I'm not crazy about green screen because it's difficult to edit and it doesn't look that good. But this is a video on how to teach adults. I hope it has some good ideas. Okay, let's see. Where are we? How late? Okay, I am 20 minutes late. Steve, so good to see you. Baby Brick, hi from Bolivia. Malik, I have no English teacher and no colleagues. Yeah, you should find places. You can go places online to meet people. There are groups on Facebook, WhatsApp. I think there are lots of places where you can reach out and find people that are similar to you if you've got an internet connection. So, Malik, I think that's important. Hi from Russia. Wow, a few from Russia these days. That's so nice. I'm an English teacher and French teacher. Uh, by the way, merci beaucoup. Actually, so I'm so excited. 4 years ago, I had a French friend who lived here in South Korea, and we went out all the time. I really enjoyed being with him because he's got this really interesting these really interesting ideas on life and people, and so much. It's not that it's so much different from my own, but it's great to have a different perspective on life to listen to people like that. And the great news is that he recently came back to South Korea 4 years later. So we hung out on Friday night. We hung out way too late, but it was so much fun that he's back and I can hang out with him again. Amelia, that kind of video would be great. Simin, hi from Iran. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy. I shared most of the views on our Facebook. Thank you, Golden. Guys, I really want to say I appreciate it when you watch it, when you like, when you share it with other teachers. I really appreciate that. Tajul, peerless brother, what nice words. Thank you so much, Tajul. Hello from Sudan. Magdi, hello again, my favorite teacher, BBC Learning English. My question is, how can I speak English like native speakers when I have a lot of vocabulary, but I can connect together? Well, it's going to take practice. You need to start using that vocabulary you have in context. So try using it in situations that you can practice that vocabulary in. I know that a lot of non-native speakers have difficulty using the correct expression or the correct vocabulary in the right situation, and sometimes they use advanced vocabulary when it isn't necessary. But I don't think that's a problem. I think what you should do, a lot of them say speak like a native, and then they give you like native expressions to use instead of those difficult vocabulary words. What I think is you need to start using it and then looking for feedback on that. So start speaking more and practicing, get your pronunciation right, and start using the vocabulary in sentences. And then I want you to look for feedback. So either if you're writing, maybe you can ask someone to check your writing and see if it's natural. In speaking, kind of see if you see how people react to how you speak, and then think about. And then another thing you should do is modeling. You know, what is that expression about? The greatest flattery is copying, something like that. So basically, you guys know what I'm talking about. What is that expression? The greatest. Give me a second. Let me quick. The greatest copy, flattery, flat. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So if you're copying someone, use it and then learn from that. So find someone that you enjoy listening to, and then start using the same phrases in the right situation. So, for example, I mentioned this psychiatrist that I listened to, and he sounds amazing. By the way, guys, check him out. The way that he speaks, I'm really fascinated in. It's so intelligent, it's very humbling to someone like myself. I struggle sometimes to speak when I'm here, but when I listen to him, I really think, wow, I need to improve. And obviously, I'm humbled. I feel like, wow, he's amazing. But I'm going to use that to motivate me. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to compare myself to him. That's a psychiatrist that has spoken on this for many years. He's very smart. But I'm not going to. I'm going to look at how I can improve to get closer to his level. So don't let a native speaker or someone that speaks better than you intimidate you. Rather, imitate them and try and improve. And Abab, you got it right. It was 8 parts of speak. Determiners are not adjectives, so 9. Okay, thank you, Kev. That's fine, Kev. You know what? I appreciate it because we learn. So I'm I'm so grateful for your questions, even though I get most of them wrong. I really I'm grateful for them because I'm also learning. And Nalida, hi teachers, greetings from Bolivia. Nathir, hi from Yemen. Maria, Richardson scores a stunning volley. Yeah, that's the one. I am from Bangladesh, Tajul. Amina, how can I teach listening to my students? One of my oldest videos that I made is all about listening. Now, guys, when you're teaching anything, you should make sure that the students understand it in context. Also, you should make sure you set them up for success. So before listening, maybe you can give them some hints. You can say, okay, well, this is what the listening is going to be about. Maybe you can go through some key vocabulary that they can expect in there, some phrases, and then don't just give them a chance to listen to it twice, because perhaps the first time they listen to it, they get used to it, and then you can do it again. Now, this is a video I made long ago on listening games. Maybe in the future I'll make a new one, but this one is quite nice. I think still it still holds up well. Himlata, thank you for your teaching. Thank you, so good. Rasha, and my name Eric. Okay, hi. Nduwayo from Burundi. I'd like to appreciate the way you made me know about how to improve my listening. Thank you. Since the day you showed me how to improve oral, now listening is still not a big problem. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that. That's excellent. Oh, by the way, guys, recently I've been very busy on a new project. I told you guys about it last week. I'm starting a new channel, start of next year. It's going to be an English learning channel. I've got a friend that I'm teaching how to edit, and I've got a stunning teacher that's going to be on. She's going to make videos. I'm going to make videos, and we'll put it on the new channel. And yeah, I'll tell you guys all about it in the future. That way, on this channel, my baby Etiquette English teachers. Yeah, that's the name of my channel. So on this channel, I like to share things for teachers, and I always will, because it's my passion. It's a way for me to improve myself too, and to share ideas. But then but then on this new channel, I can focus on English learners, and I can share some tips and things on there. And it's also exciting, I feel like there aren't enough teacher channels here, because who am I? I'm not some teaching guru. I wish there were more English teacher channels. So there aren't many. So that's why I've got my channel, and it's doing well, because I feel like there aren't many other teacher channels out there. It's not that I'm special. But then when it comes to language learning, there are thousands of channels, and it's so exciting, because now I can throw my hat in the ring, and I can try and be more competitive with those guys, trying to make content that I think is useful for learners, and also push myself even harder. Of course, I've got millions of ideas. I've got 4 or 5 years worth of content that I still need to share on this channel that I'm going to be making. But then I can also focus on English learning. Steve, Eric, what would you take on a no student left behind type of situation, where said student, for a host of reasons, significantly degraded the lesson experience? Yeah, that's a difficult one. This is a really good question, Steve. We often have the experience where there's one difficult student in class, and they are just out of control. And if that student wasn't there, it would improve the lesson, it would make teaching easier, and also for the other students, that they don't have to deal with that student. I wouldn't say no child left behind. I would say no child left behind, but if possible, they should they should be in a place where they can learn, and where they can, without interrupting or causing a negative effect for the rest of the students, because they also have a right to education. And I know this is an argument many teachers make, as they say, you know, uh, you don't have the right to disrupt other students, because they have a right to education just like you do. It's your responsibility to behave in class and to study. So ideally, a difficult student like that would need more that would need a different environment and need more help would be placed in a different class, a, a problem class. You know what it is. But if it's not possible, there should be other ways to deal with that child without them impacting the class. Now, I'm sure this is a problem that has been in education forever. If you could take out the worst 10% of students in your class, you would have a lovely class, right? In any situation, unless you only have one student, then that's a bit difficult. But yeah, we have to find ways of dealing with these students and helping them succeed. I don't know the complete answer, but I do feel like there has to be a way, and maybe the way is to put them somewhere else. But if not, they still have a right to education, and we should find a way to get them involved and to help them work with other students in class. So my answer is a non-answer, I guess. I'm sorry for that. Great question, though, Steve. Thank you so much for asking it. Sadi, hi from Uzbekistan. Thank you for teaching us. It's my pleasure. Russia, how can I make a more attractive broadcast for grade 1 and 2? Can you help me with some ideas to be so beautiful? Russia, you are already beautiful. Let's see, an attractive broadcast. So for the students to see you, make it fun, make it interesting. Go on topics that they enjoy, make it colorful, especially for young ones. You want to be more active. You want to use more expression, more emotion. You want to use colors. You want to use fun activities. And another thing that I often mention is you also want to control the energy in the classroom. When the students come in, they should know exactly what will happen when they get inside. So you should have a fun activity and then break it down and have like a lower energy, something that they can relax a little bit, some kind of writing or work that they do on their own, and then do a fun activity together again, and then bring them down again. So yeah, I think it's all about, if you talk about how to engage with them in an attractive way, I would say be engaging. If you want engagement, sorry, there's another burp coming. Sorry, guys. I hate hearing this on streams, but I can't help it. It's just I'm human, like you guys too, so it's just natural. So if you want to have an engaging class, you have to be engaging. So uh, make your lessons, involve your students in the lessons, in the activities, make it fun, and I think that will be better. And also get them to say things. I think so often teachers think that we have to take on the burden of speaking, and that's why they always talk about teacher talking time. And then you want the students to do more and you do less. But it is difficult if the students are young because they don't know what to do. So you've both got to be a role model and extract ideas and answers from them. Rabab, will it be possible if I invite you to join online to interact to discuss students as a guest speaker? Rabab, I will think about it. Sometimes I get invited to go on talks. I am kind of busy these days with all the content creation. If possible, I would love to help. You can send me an email or you can send me a message on Facebook. I apologize if I can't make it. I've got a lot of responsibilities, especially towards the end of the year. Currently teaching bilingually. Okay, so you're using both English and the student's native language. That's fine, but I think what's very important is that we have to tell our students that the only way that they can improve their English is by using English, and that's why it's up to them to use it in class. So very important. So try and make it less of the native language unless it's maybe something instructional or explaining something in a difficult way. How can I understand my students' needs and interests? Yeah, I would say ask them. So I think as a teacher, you've got to kind of evaluate where your students are. So kind of find out what their level is, what do they struggle with. If they're younger, you can't just ask them, okay, what don't you know? So don't ask them what they don't know. Kind of find out what they know first, and then kind of see how much they can add onto that. So find out their base, find out what they are able to talk about, what grammar forms they understand, what are some of their difficulties when speaking, when writing, with listening, with following instructions, and then find out what they know and then start adding to it. As far as with interests, ask them, do fun activities and get them to share their experiences. And I think this is very important when teaching, especially a language, is you've got to get your students to talk about their hobbies and what their favorite things are. And so you've got to ask them those questions and get them to mention it often, and then celebrate that with them, whatever it is. So if I'm constantly asking my students in class about their weeks, what they did, what they enjoy doing. And then, you want to establish a connection with your students to build rapport. So you're going to ask them follow-up questions, oh, so what sport do you like? Oh, I like football. Oh, did you watch the match last night? Or what do you think, who's your favorite player? Or you can also get them to know you too. You can say, well, I love soccer. This is actually my favorite player, or I used to play, something like that. That way you establish rapport with your students, and that's how you get to know their needs and their interests. Yeah, definitely, Nadir, by talking with them. Be happy. Hello, please let me know some extra activities for teenagers. I want to improve their speaking skills. Okay, I've actually been working on some new fun ESL games. Now, I've probably put out 200 activities that you can use, but maybe I should make one specifically for teenagers. Let's see. How about this one? I did an activity on deserted island. It's one of my most popular videos. I made it a long time ago, and a lot of people actually comment and they say, so how this deserted island activity works is you put students in groups, and there is only enough, let's say they are 10 students, there's only enough space for, let's say, for 6 of them. So then each student should give a reason why they should stay on the island. If they're on a deserted island, there's only space for 6 of them. And so each student actually has to tell the students what their argument is for why they should stay. Maybe they've got skills, maybe they can help the group somehow to catch fish, to build. You can say, oh, I'm very smart with this. Another thing, a way, because we don't want to make it about the students, we don't want to make it a personality contest. Another thing you would like to do is you can tell the students, to all of them, just at the start of class, tell them to draw something, draw an item, anything they want to draw. They've got 2 minutes. They draw the item, then take all the items. It could be anything like a robot or a knife or a bottle, or it could be a toy, take it all up and then redistribute it. That is their item. Based on the item, they have to explain why this item is useful and why they should be allowed to stay on the island because of the item. Now, a third variation of this is, it's called, what did I call it again? It's the opposite of deserted island. This is like, I don't want to be mayor. You're right. I don't want to be mayor of a town. Tell the students that they have to elect a mayor for their town. So that's the person responsible for making all the decisions. It's the most important person in their city or town. But each student, instead of having to argue why they should be mayor, they should say why they are the worst person for the job. And this is a fun way, because the students don't have to take themselves seriously. They can look at their flaws and they can share that. So they can say, oh, well, you guys, I can't cook. I'm really bad at cooking. I'm very indecisive. I can't make decisions. I'm very lazy. I sleep late. Actually, I get angry very quickly. I shouldn't be a mayor. If I was mayor, bad things would happen to us. I wouldn't make. Or you can say, oh, I spend money too quickly. I would use up all your money, so don't vote for me. So then at the end of the class, all the students have to vote on who they think should be the mayor, and they should say, oh, who is the worst person, the best person for the job. So that's a fun variation on it. By the way, guys, I'm so sorry. I see I'm 20 minutes late with the comments. It happens. I use this. I'm currently on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on YouTube. So I have to scroll down to see all of this, and it's just me here. But what I like is in February, we will have that live stream with each teacher presenting on a topic. And then I will be in the background and I can pick out the best questions. I wish I had like a manager. It's almost like being on a radio, you know, where when people call into a radio station and you've got producers that have to decide who to talk to. But I'm just here. I'm just scrolling down slowly. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, I shouldn't eat so late. I really apologize. Hind, is it really possible to teach English as a foreign language for 12 to 16-year-old learners in groups with comprehension? Yes, it's definitely possible. A lot of teachers actually tell me, oh, Eric, I've got a class of 100 students. What do I do? Now, I don't remember all the tips I gave, but since I got this question a lot, what did I call it? Big classes? Let me see. Yeah, teaching big classes. I made this video almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And it's all about how to teach big classes. I'm going to share it with you in the comments. So I think I've got lots of good points in here. What I like is on this live stream, I get so many questions and I can create good videos for that. And then I just post the video. So hopefully that helps. Hind. And Nilida, what do you recommend to level students with a low level? By the way, I work with adults. Well, help them. I would say it needs to be useful to them. With adult learners or learners in general, they don't need to learn the alphabet. No, wait, sorry. No, they do need to learn the alphabet. I retract that. They don't need to know. You need to help them with useful language, practical language they can use in their everyday lives. So focus on expressions, focus on the basics that they would need to read, to write, to have conversations that they can implement when they leave the class immediately. So you're going to get them to, if they're working in an industry, if they're working in a business, what are some types of conversations they would have, and then practice those basic conversations. One of the biggest mistakes I made, and I regret this, I was a new teacher and I started at a school here in South Korea, and they said, Eric, we want you to do classes with some of the other teachers. And immediately I started creating these really difficult lessons on teaching and really difficult things that they didn't really need to learn about. Instead, what I should have done is make it fun and interesting to them, and also things that they can apply in their class. So let's say if they want to travel, then you're going to go over vocabulary and expressions and dialogues that they can use for travel. Make it useful for your students, especially if they are adults. So I think that's the most important. So lots of role playing to get your students to role play so that they don't feel that they are themselves, if that's what you want to do. But yeah, I think that's important. The psychiatrist, I think it's Happy Gamer GG. Check him out. He's got like 1 million subscribers, but wow, the way that he speaks is so good. Ceci, I really appreciate. Thank you. Eric, another Eric. Hi, Eric. Mastodon education better than bluebird.warm. Okay, I think I don't know what that is, Eric, but thank you for sharing. Fatima, hi, I'm doing well. Thank you. Good day. And hi from Bolivia. Eric, and trust and respect. Thank you. Liesel, my CV has been accepted at 2 online schools waiting for interviews. Liesel, best of luck to you. Liesel has been so nice. She's helped me with so many resources she sent my way. I really appreciate it, especially everyone helping me. But yeah, Liesel, thank you so much. Fingers crossed. I'm sure you'll get it. Wherever they accept you, I know you'll do your best for the students. Danish, great insight into what is students and teachers. Thank you. James, I discovered some great game shows that can be adapted. I recently adapted the all game show Pyramid. Also think Definition and Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune is an old favorite. I think another fun one is, what is that? The one where they interview like 100 people and then they write it down. I remember a long time ago, someone shared a resource from that. What is that called again, that game? So basically they ask a question to 100 random people, and then they say, okay, which answers they gave. And that was really fun. I used that for some students too. So I found this resource of some of these questions, and then you put the students in pairs, and then they have to guess, and then they get points based on their answer. I think that's also a really fun game. Pyramid, yeah, I think pyramid can work. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune is popular. Definition. And what is that word that I think it's a game show with Jimmy Carr, where the students where participants they pick words, so they can pick a vowel or consonant, and they pick, I think, like 8 or 10 of those, and then they have to create the longest possible word. That's also a really fun one to use. Nina, how many words do you put on a board? Oh, many. As many as you want to. 20. I think 20 is okay, because otherwise the game will take too long. I haven't played it before. I just, I haven't. It's just an idea, but I can see how it works. I like to share games or activities that I think are easy to use, and fun for the students. So I think it's up to you. I would say it depends how many students you have in class, but you can start out with 10 words if you want to. So then let's say you've got 5 lines and the students have to try and get through that. I think 10 might be the minimum, and then more than that. Fatima, can you suggest some interesting activities to teach present simple? I have done it in the past. I can't think of examples right now. My goal for next year is to perhaps create 24 lessons based on grammar, and then show some activities and share some resources on how to teach it. So I can't think of anything right now. Noise is a distraction when one is working. How do you punish undisciplined students? Timeout, lines, detention. Yeah, one of the videos I want to make is punishments. There are so many different punishments that we can give to students. Um, I think the first thing with noise is um, there should be a certain level of noise in a classroom, because some teachers enjoy it being very quiet. Some teachers enjoy it being, more loud and social. So it's up to you. There should be a certain level, and there should also be a way for you to get the students to get quiet quickly, and that's something you need to practice over and over again, so that it's drilled into your students. Like if you raise my method, I just count down 3, 2, 1, and stop. And I wait for the students to calm down, and then I continue. I think that's very important. And then I also maybe I prepare my students. So I would say out loud, just guys, 1 more minute. So I give them a minute to quickly finish up, and then I go 3, 2, 1. And then if they are not quiet, I will say, I will point out some students. I would say, "Oh, Jimmy, thank you so much for," instead of finding negative examples of students. "Oh, John, why were you still talking? We don't have the whole day. I can't wait for everyone to get quiet." Instead of find positive examples. "Oh, Jimmy." So some students are allowed say, "Oh, Jimmy, thank you so much for being so kind. You know what? +1 to you. I'm going to give +1 to you." So then the students see that you actually, when they do well, it's positive reinforcement. So with the punishments, I am going to do a video on certain punishments that we can do. I mean, yeah, students can get detention. I think before you get to punishments, try and, like I said, teach the students, use classroom management techniques. And then if certain students do act out, before you punish them, ask to talk to them after class, and then have a personal conversation with them afterwards. So let's say I say, "Okay, everyone, time's up, 3, 2, 1," and some students are very noisy, or everybody's doing some work, and some students get too noisy. I will warn them first. I will say, "Gentlemen, listen." I will go over to the group and just say, "Okay, listen, gentlemen, it's too loud. It's unacceptable." And then at the end of the lesson, if they continue, I will say, "Okay, well, I will write down a word, someone's name on the board, and I'll say, James, I want to talk to you after class. You're being a bit too loud. Let's quickly talk about it after class." That way, you're not creating a disturbance in the class, but you're actually, and then you have that conversation with the student. And then in the future, if that student acts up again, and you can say, "Oh, James, listen, we had a conversation about this before. We cannot learn in this environment. And then after that, then I would start going to punishments. Yeah. Okay. Well, everyone, I think, yeah, we're almost at the end of the stream. I've been talking nonstop. I've been burping even more. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Kev, for the difficult questions, even though I don't get them right. And everybody else, I'm so sorry if I don't get to your names. I wish you a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week.